In the Arrowverse, there are many shows that go and do the standard superhero thing by having characters gain their powers, go on a hero's journey for however long the series can. But for Legends of Tomorrow, they honestly bucked a trend and tried to make a show about the B and C listers getting their own show and making it their own. It took a season to work out the kinks, but now Legends of Tomorrow is one of the most fun shows that the Arrowverse has ever had. And some people think that Season 7 is the best. But is it? Allow us to show you how Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 became the best of the series by challenging history. Number 6. Season 7. DC's Legends of Tomorrow has always felt like the black sheep of the CWVerse, but it's owned its uniqueness. Now in its 7th season, the showrunners have settled into their groove. Anything and everything can and will happen on this show, but that doesn't mean the series can't be entertaining, politically relevant, and ultimately heartwarming. We're at the midpoint of DC's Legends of Tomorrow Season 7, and despite being only 7 episodes in, some feel the season has been the best of the series. Aliens, robots, time travel, team drama, and romance have all come together in a way that's impressed many. At the end of the 6th season, the Legends had defeated an alien invasion on Earth in 1925 and were all set to return home, when boom, a second Wave Rider appeared and destroyed theirs, leaving the team stranded in the past. Most of us expected the problem to solve itself in the Season 7 premiere, but the Bullet Blondes doubled down on the Legends, being displaced in time. And that wasn't all. The Legends lost John Constantine, Matt Ryan, whose magical powers could have easily rectified the situation. And to be clear, many fans are not happy that Constantine is gone, but more on that later. Number 5. New time period, same Legends. The team was also split up. Esperanza, Spooner Cruz, and Astro Logue were stuck on Spooner's mother's farm with a human version of their AI Gideon in tow. Elsewhere, co-captains Sarah Lance and her wife Ava Sharp had resorted to robbing banks as the Bullet Blondes. Without the Wave Riders' resources, the team needed cash to survive. And the boys, Nate Haywood, Bayrad Tarazi, and Gary Green, all had their own issues going on. Especially Gary because, well, Gary always has issues. The final member of the team, Zari 2.0, was nursing a broken heart as she was still mourning the loss of Constantine. And as you would expect from the show, the Legends did the best with what they had and saved the day at times by the skin of their teeth. But at times, that wasn't enough for the show, including them using their particular time periods to do something they've done in the past. Pun intended. Number 4. Social commentary. History has a way of evolving even after it's happened that can't be ignored, such as sometimes the greatest generations are exposed for things that they did that we look now upon and go, how did they get away with that? Legends of Tomorrow has done that multiple times in the past in both critical and telling ways, and Season 7 is no different. The 1920 storyline has been ripe for these political discussions. The racism and sexism of the era have played a key role in instigating the Legends to act. Their mission has always been to preserve the timeline, but in this season, they've chosen not to blindly follow their prime directive. Minor changes have led them to save the life of a singer destined to be killed by her violent mobster partner, and the Legends rescued a black-owned, queer-friendly speakeasy. The show introduced J. Edgar Hoover, whose racial biases were a true danger to the people, as Nate found out for himself when he, Bayrad, and Gary interviewed a train full of suspects. The wealthy white passengers admired Hoover, while the poorer passengers, who were also from many marginalized communities, shared the horrors of being profiled by the FBI. Sarah even joked about Nate using his superpowers as a straight white man to get them into places. Furthermore, in the mid-season finale, A Women's Place in the War, Effort saw what you might think was an inspirational story, as it was set in World War II and women were brought in to help make planes and other items for the American war effort, while the males were off to war. Now, a big thing and a major moment for women, who were white, that is, as the episode also showed that any woman who was not white, in this case Astra and Spooner, were relegated to being janitors because of a racist manager. Astra gets furious and uses her magic to take over the place, and then tries to integrate the workforce, and it backfires on her because both the white men and women were opposed to this notion. It did work out for the Legends in the end for the most part, and it told an important lesson that sadly is still not learned to this day. It doesn't matter your skin color or origins or gender or orientation. It matters what you bring to the table. Number 3, Ava Lance. A thing that we personally love about recent seasons of Legends of Tomorrow and starting back in Season 3 was the relationship between Sarah Lance and Ava Sharp. These two started out as rivals who became lovers, who became girlfriends, then co-captains, and then at the end of last season, they got married. Why is this important? Well, the Arrowverse as a whole has honestly been really good about LGBTQ+ characters as a whole. Sarah Lance was a great example of this as she was bi. And other characters came forward as gay, such as Mr. Terrific in Arrow, Nora Allen, Barry Allen's daughter in The Flash, and more followed. Supergirl even brought in a transgender character via Dreamer, played by a transgender actress no less, and so on and so forth. But with Legends of Tomorrow, not only did they have LGBTQ+ characters, they're the leads. They're not the supporting characters for the most part, and Ava Lance as a whole has been something that the fanbase has been clinging to, as they are a great couple. And in Season 7 they've been embracing their married status in various ways, including wanting to make sure that each other is alright, even with all the chaos of the events that follow them. Oh, and they had a memorable honeymoon that they rightly deserved. Season 6 was hard on Ava Lance fans because of various things going on, but Season 7 put the couple back together and kept it that way, which we were eternally grateful for. Number 2, problems emerging? While many are loving Season 7 of Legends of Tomorrow, that's not to say that it's without its bumps and bruises in the fanbase. As noted, one of the biggest things that people hate is the departure of Constantine. The heads of the show said that there are no more stories to tell with Constantine, but the fans and us know that this is a bunch of bull, and rather is likely because of the HBO Max Constantine series that is allegedly still coming by J.J. Abrams. Right, because you can't have a TV version of a character alongside a movie version, right? Flash, Superman? Also, the team itself is not exactly comic book. In fact, right now there are only 1 or 2 characters that technically have comic book ties. The rest are OG characters. And while that's not bad per se, the show was meant to be about the lesser DC Comics characters getting to shine, and yet over the course of the last 3 or 4 seasons, said characters have been ousted in one form or another, including fan favorites like Constantine, Ray Palmer, and Mick Rory, all 3 of which had rather lackluster exits. Not to mention the current storyline as a whole doesn't really make sense at times. Not that it needs to make sense all the time, but most of the time it is appreciated. Number 1, course correction. With the back half of the season coming in 2022, it's going to be very interesting to see just how much things change for the Legends as they try and go home, save history, and not screw things up more than they already have. So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at Legends of Tomorrow Season 7, and why some think it's the best of the series so far? Do you believe that it's that? Do you think that there is still room for this show to grow? Or do you think that, like other Arrowverse shows, it needs to get ready for the end? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.